Well, hey guys, I hope we can do something new and different for you today in our card making. Before we do that, and before I forget, I had told you last Friday I would be doing a giveaway, and I went to commentpicker.com and used their tool, and Stephanie Davis, you are the winner. I apologize for the glare on my screen. Stephanie, if you will drop me an email at raescreatecards@gmail.com and give me your mailing address, I will get that wonderful bling in the mail to you. And just in case you all forgot, it is this package right here. The adhesive back glitter sequins. Aren't they festive? Okay, so Stephanie, be sure and drop me an email and let me know, okay? So I've been playing around in my craft room, and I was making shaker cards, and I thought, I'm not really done with fall yet, and I had so much playing, and I had a hard time making myself stop. So as you can tell, this is that wonderful DSP that I don't believe is even available anymore. But yeah, I just had so much fun. The fill that I'm using, and honestly, I can't remember if this came from Buttons and More, Buttons Galore, Buttons and More, I think is the name of the site. But if you can see, there's little tiny leaves, there's flat gold sequins. I had 2 bags, and after I opened the first one and used part of it, I went ahead and combined them, and I threw away the little topper that was on the bags. But there's all kinds of bling available out there. And this one, this one is a landscape. And I just used the different leaf dies out of the autumn leaves. The autumn leaves that was brand new in this year's catalog. And I just took that paper. Sometimes I flipped over that pattern and used that for my background. But aren't they cute? I didn't finish the inside yet. I obviously don't have a sentiment on there. And I thought, well, most people have probably already got their Thanksgiving and fall-themed cards done, or I would hope you do at this point. Let me bring this down so y'all can see the host code and everything in case you need that. And as I'm filming this on Thursday, this is the last day for that seasonal sale. Yours truly doesn't even have her order in yet, and I found some more cardstock and stuff that I, really needed to get that I had overlooked. So hopefully I can get that done today on top of everything else that is on my plate. So we are going to do a Christmas themed card, and here is the card that we will be doing. And we are using, and yes, I realize that it's on back order, but we are going to be using the loose holly gems and sequins. And this paper is that the Joyful? Well, could have sworn I had it sitting here. All right, I'll figure out what the name of that paper was, and I'll put, oh, here it is. I did have it close by. This is the Joyful, yes, 12 by 12, and you have some of those metallic prints. We used this in a card very recently, and yes, for the Tuesday Live. All right, so we're going to redo this, and guess what, guys? I don't know. Can you see where there's little traces of where I put the glue? I forgot, and I used the Tombow glue on that thin DSP, and it did leave a ridge. And so, yeah, I've put Tombow away. I have my Barely Art glue out, and I'm going to show you just how simple and easy it is to do this. We are using not the stamp set, but the dies from the Merriest Trees. And we are going to be using what I call the medium tree. You have your large, You have medium, you have small, and you have extra small, and then you have tiny, okay? You can do any size you want, but this was the size I thought we would do. It's perfect for the outside of the card and doesn't take up too much real estate on the front. So I have got an 8.5 by 5.5 real red card base. And we're going to go ahead and just get that burnished on that score line there. I have a hard time getting them really flat on top of this silicone mat, but I love this mat. Of course, it catches every little speck of dust, but anyway, I'm going to set that aside for just a second. And then we have a piece out of that Joyful Designer pack, and this is cut, I want to say it's 4 by 5 1/4. It is 4. Yes, 5 1/4. And then the piece that is going to go back behind the cutout, I did cut that at 3 3/4 by 5. It's going to be just a little bit smaller, and this is a piece that goes on the back. But I want to show you, if you're nervous about doing shaker cards for any reason, yeah. And then for the sentiment, I took the banner die from the Stylish Shape dies. I've actually cut 2 of them so we can glue them together after we get it stamped. And that will give it just a little bit more something there. Okay. Now, I am going to have to run this through, and I don't believe this is going to fit my mini-me, even though... No, it's not. So very quickly, I'm going to bring up my big one, and you're probably not going to see it totally on screen, but that's okay. I'm going to take off my top cutting plate and retrieve my magic mat, because again, this is metallic. So what you do want to do is arrange this so that it's pretty much centered, although we're going to scooch it up a little bit more toward the top. I do want to put like a star of some kind on my tree, so I'm mindful of that. But you want to leave yourself plenty of room down at the bottom for the sentiment to go. And of course, I have made cards that did not have a sentiment in it, and that's fine too. But yeah, we've had recent discussions about using the magic mat on metallic foil and how it does not leave any kind of markings on your foil. Do you see how pretty that is? And then do you see this piece that we just cut out? That's not waste. And if we have time today, we're going to put a card together using this piece. So it will be totally, totally waste-free. Let me put this away. And let me get my tree die also put back away. So I hope everybody's been having a really good week. Once again, we have blue sky, sunshine. I've got some errands that I need to run today. I do. I'm going to put away my whole Marius Trees set. And on the Stylish Shape dies, I used the largest of the banner dies to die cut this out. In case you were wondering, hopefully most of you have that. If not, I hope you plan on getting it. And I've got a set of dies and a stamp set over here to the side in case we do have time. And so I'll try not to make this too long in putting this together. So, like I said, this is going to be the piece that goes behind. And let me move some of my stuff out of the way over here. And we are going to add our foam and our window sheet. Did I have a piece of window sheet ready? I did, but I don't see it. Oh my heavens. Let me find. I have plenty of window sheet here. And let me just open up a pack off screen, off camera. And, all right, here is a piece. And, oh, yeah, that's going to be plenty big enough. Now, I believe on my original card, I cut it 3 3/4 by 3 1/2. But as long as you have got enough window sheet that will cover, you're good to go. You can use double-sided tape. You can use tape runner, whatever you want around the edge. I mean, you got to be mindful. You don't want to get too close. I'm just going to use a little bit of Barely Art glue just around the edge. And we're going to lay that down and let that be attaching itself. So that is after you do your die cutting of whatever you're wanting to make a shaker card out of. Look through your stash. You know, sometimes we look at our dies and we don't think of them in relation to shaker cards. All right, so there we go. That's kind of setting up. Now, and I think I mentioned in a recent video that I had ordered and received some foam tape. I didn't tell you who it was from, so let me kind of show it to you now. So this is from Pear Blossom Press, okay? And they're not kidding when they say it's the world's best foam tape. It's acid-free. The adhesive is repositionable for 30 minutes. Isn't that awesome? So if you don't line it up correctly, no harm, no foul. You can redo it so easily. And that's what I was making my fall shaker cards with. And I can attest to the fact it is super, super easy to use, okay? The release paper does peel off extremely easy. It has been a joy to work with. And here is where I've already been cutting on mine. I left it on this sheet because it came in this wonderful resealable big plastic bag. And all I have to do is just slide that back in there. And it's so easy, guys. It's so easy. Now, when you're making a shaker card, you do want to make sure that not only can your bits not come out, but that you are supporting your cardstock all the way around the perimeter. And I have got a big pair of scissors here. These are Stanley scissors. They've been around for a few years. And they're wonderful. They're still cutting. In fact, I cut ribbon with it last night. And it was like, wow, I can't believe they're still that sharp. So take your foam tape. You see how thick that is? See how much dimension that's going to help give that? And because this one is pretty straightforward, I don't have to add a whole lot of the foam tape inside the card. But I do want to make real sure I have got a good border all the way around. And yep, I'm going to use even my little pieces. Now, one thing you can do, so this is white. I know Stampin' Up! Offers us the like black dimensionals and things. And I did play with a little scrap piece. You can take your black alcohol marker, whether it's Stamping Blends or any other brand, if you want to color that in. It doesn't have to be black. You can use and match up the color of the cardstock or whatever that you're using. It'll take a hot minute, and I guarantee you will have you'll have ink on your fingers when you get done. But I keep cutting that at an angle, and I really do want that straight. And so we're just going to make sure, I'm making sure I'm still in camera. But anyway, guys, and a special shout out to those of you who supported me in my live on Tuesday. You know who you are. I appreciate that so much. You know, when you first start doing something that you're not known for, and I'm not known for doing lives yet, and people show up and they support you. Guys, y'all are just wonderful. You are wonderful, truly. All right, and I boogered that. I was cutting at an angle again. I sure don't want to waste this. Any little bits and pieces I can save because they may serve me well in another project or at another time. You do want to make sure that when you're applying this, it is not going to be seen from the other side. And this is not. Cut that. And now I need, I've got a scrap piece over here. Let me see if that will. Oh, it will. Okay. You just want to make real sure you don't have any gaps, depending on the size of your shaker filler that you are using, that nothing is going to be able to come up and out. And I don't think any of my bits, because mine are a little bit on the chunky side, but yeah, you can save this and then reuse it. Absolutely. So that's not going to go to waste. And then at this point, I am going to bring in my new Rabbit Hole Designs embossing powder brush. And I'm just going to lay a little bit down inside. That will go a long way in taking out the static. And that will help us later. If there's any excess, you can absolutely just kind of blow on that and get rid of the excess. Its job is basically done. And then we're going to take these and lay them in there. Actually, I think first, now this is totally a personal preference. You can take off your release paper first if you want to, or you can wait and do that second. I see how that kind of lifted up. If I had my fill in there, it could have popped it loose. So, I've got this and this and this. And you know what I think I'm going to do? I think before we add this, I do think I am going to come in and just add a little bit more. You know, if you were doing construction, that would be called cross bracing, right? But just for a little bit more support for the overall design, let me cut a piece and put it right across here. That will go a long way in adding support to the underside there. Your recipient is never going to see this part, so it doesn't matter what it looks like at this point. And sometimes it you know, it can look like a real hot mess. Now, do y'all ever buy those little tuna kits? This is a little spoon that comes in some of those prefab tuna kits, okay? And I found it was perfect for making sure that I did not get too much at one time. It allowed me to go slow. It allowed me to be somewhat methodical. But you have those little musical notes, and there is some of that musical notes metallic paper in that same pack. You've got the real red. You've got the shaded spruce holly leaves. And this is shaded spruce right here. All right, get back over there. And you do want to be careful that you don't overdo it. I mean, you'll have a whole lot more going on than what you're aware is going on real quick. And I just keep dropping stuff on there. But it's very easy to pick it up. There we go. And I'm thinking that is about enough. We're going to add just a titch more. A little bit more. But yeah, the spoon is flat, but it has those little sides, and it tends to hang on to what you got going on. And I think we're good there. So I'm going to kind of flatten it out just a bit. And now we're going to take my DSP and turn it over. And it doesn't matter if you totally cover, because you're going to be gluing this to your card base, so it doesn't matter at all. And I'm just going to give that a really good back rub. Right there, right there, right there. You want to make sure I've got good adhesion. Okay. Let's turn it over and see what we have. Look. Look, guys. Isn't that fun and festive? What kid or adult, I mean, we're all kids still, would not like to have that? Now, on my sample card, I used one of these red dots to put on top of the tree because I am using a real red card base, and I think I will do the same thing again. So I'm just going to take and put just a titch of glue right here at the top. Let me re-secure this, if I can get that in there. And we're going to lay that right on there very carefully. Very carefully. And we're going to let that have some time to set up. I was trying to make sure the glue didn't come out from under. With Tombow, that would have been a disaster because Tombow is sticky. Tombow dries shiny. Barely Art glue is not sticky, and it dries matte, so nobody will ever know that's there. Nothing is going to attempt to stick to it, because if you've ever gotten glue on your metallic papers, you know you cannot get that off without it showing, right? Okay, while everything is sitting there setting up, we're going to move that to the side, and I'm going to bring in, now the sentiment that I used on my original card, I actually used the Merry Christmas out of the Berry Cute, and I stamped it in Shaded Spruce, and I guess yep, I do. I have it on a block. So I'm going to get out my Shaded Spruce, and we're going to stamp that, get the two layers glued together. But do you see how fast and easy, even though I'm explaining all the steps to you, see how quick and easy this has come together? So I'm going to position that in the middle best I can, hopefully straight. Give that just a second to make sure it's catching that ink. I love that font, and I love how crisp and clean that comes out. Isn't that gorgeous? Love it. I haven't used enough of that Berry Cute yet, and hopefully I'm going to be able to dig into it. There are some kids at church that I would really like to bless with a Christmas card, and you know, we can still do children themes and still put some kind of a verse that will glorify God, because they need to understand that, you know, despite the decorated trees and getting all the gifts and everything, that there's more to Christmas, right? And so over the years, they will learn and come to understand that there is a better reason, a more important reason for celebrating Christmas. Christmas begins with Christ. Okay, put that together, make sure I'm lined up. Give that just a second to set up. I'm going to turn that over. I'm going to bring in my dimensionals, if I can find them in my mess, because I know I had them here. Yes, I did. Here we go. And y'all have heard me preach before. Depending on if you're going to mail it, give it in person as to how many, dimensionals you want to use. So, I mean, you know me, normally I would have used a whole lot more than this for good support, but I definitely will be giving one of these in person, so not a problem. We're going to take the backings off ever so quickly, trying to. And then we're going to see what we can come up with for using that tree cutout so that there is absolutely no waste. And, you know, if you were going to do a second shaker card, that totally could be in the background of your shaker card. Those window sheets are awesome. Oh, I'm loving that. Love, love. And that's already set up. And just to show you, it's not been 30 minutes, okay? It has not. I'm going to show you, ever so carefully, that yes, you can still peel that up and reposition it. It's not threatening to tear my paper. Isn't that awesome? It's awesome. I love having repositionable. Love it, love it. Okay, so I'm going to place this and try to make sure I've got about the same distance on my left and my right side. Make sure it is straight, kind of in the middle from the base of the tree to the bottom of the card. And now we just need to get that put on our card base. And I'm going to take, at this point, I think I am safe to bring in my Tombow. Yeah, I totally had forgot I had my Tombow sitting here when I did my sample card, and I just automatically reached for that. And shouldn't have done that with that real thin DSP. I did. And we're just going to center that because that top piece is 4 by 5 1/4. You've got some wiggle room right there. Tombow is also giving you a little bit of wiggle room. Just going to lay that there. Let me put this up. And I'm going to turn it over, and I'm just going to lightly kind of press around to make sure that's getting good contact on the front. And there we go with that. Now, for the inside, all I was simply going to do was to take a piece of 4 by 5 1/4 basic white, lay it in there. Not real sure yet how I want to finish that sentiment off on there, but what do you think, guys? Wasn't that easy? That was super, super easy. All right, let's bring our little tree in. We're doing pretty good on time. It's not been quite 30 minutes yet. Now, I took a piece of shaded spruce and made a traditional 8.5 by 5.5 card base, scored it at 4 1/4, and then I ran it through our Christmas Tidings embossing folder. It is not a 3D, and it lends itself very well. Now, you could do it, you know, vertical too, because you do have some things coming across that you can read vertically. You can use it either way. However, I felt like this was really tailored more for a landscape type card. And I simply lined it up next to my score line and just ran it through. And I know we're supposed to always put our folders through hinge first, fold first. But if you're careful and you go slow, you're not going to hurt your folder. Okay, Stampin' Up! Does a really good job in giving us quality folders. And so, yeah, you can get away with doing that. And that's what I have done. And so in playing around with it, I thought, you know, it just needs some definition. So I went and got into my scallop contour dies, and the second largest die, I just cut a piece out of plain vellum, and I thought, well, what's that going to look like if we put that on plain vellum, and laid that there. And then I thought, well, okay, that's going to be a little bit too big, isn't it? That is going to be too big. Well, didn't think that all the way through, did I? So let me get my scallop contour dies. Let's see what we can do. We're just going to add, we're going to go down in size. I had used the second largest. Like I said, you know, you think about this stuff, and look here. I can get another piece. Let me run that through very quickly. I can actually run that through my little mini-me right here. Oh, I don't want my white one. I want my light gray. All right, we're going to run that through real quick. So I've got my light gray plate, and my bottom plate, my bottom cutting plate. We're going to lay that in there. You know, if I can pull this off and center this nicely to where it's straight and it doesn't move, I might have a cute little frame that I can use for another card, maybe. If not, no harm, no foul, right? We're going to run that through. And I bet this size will make it on that card front. You know, it is so much fun, and I've told y'all before, just get into your card room. Well, look, isn't that cute? That's really cute. I'm definitely going to put that to the side and see what I can do with it. Let me get my die back in there. Let me get him out of the way. My plate. All right. Now it'll fit. Awesome. There's that. Yes, we have plenty of room for a sentiment. But here's what I thought. It's been a long time since I've done this, guys. So this pack of ribbon, the copper and natural ribbon, it's easy to use that beautiful copper ribbon, isn't it? I wanted to use this, and I want to cut a piece that is right at 5.5 that goes all the way across. Let me get my actual ribbon scissors out. That might have been a fluke that those old Stanley scissors worked as well as they did. And let's see. There is 5.5. I'm just going to take and cut that in right there. And then I'll know where to cut. Okay, so that should be pretty close. And it's kind of a rustic ribbon, and it lends itself well to being kind of feathered. I'm going to peel off a little bit of that and then cut that. I don't want to go too far, but I wanted a little bit of distressing right there. Let me get this a little bit. And I'm not worried about sealing the ends or anything. I haven't done that in years. I just haven't let it bug me. Okay, let's do the same thing on this end. And get a hold of that and just kind of fray the ends just a bit. Is that about the same? Kind of. It doesn't have to be even Steven. Anything that's rustic isn't perfect, right? Let's see how good a job I did here. So that's going to go over. In fact, probably need to trim this up just a hair so it's not going over the edge. Man, what a mess. All those little fibers. Yay me for having to clean that up. Oh, we hate cleaning our craft rooms, don't we? So if we put that there, and we put our tree, of course, you know, you could put it right in the middle if you wanted to. Let's see. I'm going to have, I can put that to where I have about the same amount of room here and here, in from the edge a little bit. Now, here is something I want to try. Okay. I'm going to bring back in that Merry Christmas, and I'm going to bring back in the shaded spruce. I have not done this in a long time. We're going to see. This is either going to be a bust or a win. That's all right. As crafters, we know sometimes it's not always a win, is it? I want this right here toward the end. Kind of in the middle, hopefully relatively straight, and we're going to see if this ribbon will take the ink. I'm betting it will. And who knows, somebody out there maybe has already been doing that with this ribbon. I don't know. If I did, I would tell you. Y'all know I love to give credit where credit is due. And that's burlap, not cardstock, so... Well, I say it's oh, look. Look, guys, isn't that sweet? You can definitely read it. Wow, I didn't think it would come out that crisp. on ribbon? Oh, that is awesome. Okay, before I get my fingers into it, we're going to close that up, and I need glue dots. I know not to use liquid glue, and I don't believe I'm going to be able to use tape runner very effectively, so I'm going to get out some glue dots here. Let's see what we can do. Let me get my take your pick tool. If I can keep that really, really flat. Now, is this where I want it? I think I'm going to raise that up just a hair. If I raise that up just a hair, is that going to be? Yeah, I think that'll work. I think it will. I'm just going to fold this back. So I put one right there. Whoop. Let's see what we got. Oh, good. It doesn't show. Awesome. Let's get another one for the other end. These are super tough. Y'all know that, right? If you've used these for a hot minute, you know these are super, super tough. And I don't feel like I have to do more than one at each end. And because they do, I mean, they get on there and they hold right away. There's no waiting. It's there. Uh-oh. It's there if the glue dot is there. Oh, my word. I'm going to trash that one and get another one. And this time, let's make sure it's on here and not stuck to my take your pick tool or me. Oh, come on now. Don't be hateful. Stick. There we go. Now, my about straight. Gosh, I wish I could talk to you guys. I wish y'all could talk to me and interact with me. So let's see. What do we want? About, yeah, I'm going to bring that down to where it's just above that stitching. And let's just go ahead and use glue dots. We know they can't gush out, don't we? And it'll be there on that vellum. So, put one there. Put one there. I have got to find a better tool for these glue dots. There's got to be something I can use that these don't fight you. You know what? I'm going to take some of that backing off of that foam tape. Perfect. All right, guys. Now you know what to do, and I do too. Take, or even a piece of the wrapper here, because it's kind of a waxy paper, right? Guess what? Ta-da! Awesome. So very, why didn't I think of that sooner? Oh my goodness. And I'm not going to just cover this totally in glue dots, but I do want to make sure it doesn't come back up from that vellum. And then we're going to add some to the back of the vellum. I'm going to put one right there in the middle. We're going to put one more up at the top. There we go. Ta-da! Yay! Oh, look where I was sticking it with my take your pick tool. So, there you go. Another reason to use a piece of wax paper or the wrapper that comes off of this stuff. Yeah, off of the glue dots. All right, whatever you have that is non-stick. Now, I can only put adhesive right there behind the tree, because I do know the vellum will show the glue dots. And get some of that excess out of my way. Now, because that's vellum, is that still gonna? Yeah. All right. I'm not gonna let that bother me about those little dings in the, you know, you could always cut out some ornaments or something like that if you wanted to. And because some of this is going to be on that embossed vellum, I think I will add some extra glue dots in here just to make sure we get good hold. And am I still in camera? I am. It's a miracle. It's a miracle. Guys, I'm still riding high on the blessings train. And even though my son left over 2 weeks ago from that glorious weekend, I'm still missing him. Wish he could come back. It was awesome, awesome, awesome to get to visit with him. And Maggie is a real sweetheart too. I'm glad to know he has found someone that he can have in his life that is a blessing to him as well. Okay, we have that. Where did I put? Now, everything is shaded spruce. Let's bring a touch of red in. I mean, red and green are the traditional Christmas colors, right? Let's bring that in and find. Now, there's different sizes of the red in here. If you were not able to get them, please plan on getting them as soon as they come back in stock. I'm wondering, do I want to take another glue dot? And this one will roll it up kind of into a round shape. And if I can pull this off, I'm going to stick that to the back of that. And I think that might work a whole lot better than liquid glue. Can't get my putty to want to hold on to it, so I'll just use my fingers. I'll stick that on there. Hopefully centered. All right, let's mesh that up there. And we have that. Oh, what do you think, guys? What do you think? Do you think you could do that and make another card out of that so you would have absolutely no waste? Put your piece of basic white on the inside, any size that you prefer to finish yours off. You could always add and cut out of that Marius Trees bundle. They do have that garland that you could die cut and add on there, and it would really make that pop. In fact, I would probably use the real red. If you have any metallic red card stock, that would be awesome as well. Or you could take silver and probably color it with a bright red and get away and die cut with that. All right, guys, what do you think? Let's bring back in our original shaker card. So there we go. Isn't that awesome? That's so awesome. That was my sample. Here is the one we made. I substituted the red bling for the die cut star. Okay. In real person, you can kind of see that star up there a little bit. But I thought since I was using a red base with that shaded spruce, and there was red also in those shaker bits, that might help that pop a little bit. And I kind of think it did. And then we took the positive piece from there and made yet another card. Just a real quick, simple design. Guys, I love y'all. Be safe. Be blessed. Know you are loved. God is good all the time. And Stephanie, don't forget to send me an email with your mailing address so I can get that in the mail to you. All right, guys, until next time, until Tuesday at 10, I'll be here live. Y'all take care. Bye.